Good evening and welcome to my channel. Today we'll be looking at the topic from fossil fuels to clean power, understanding energy sources. Taking you through this lecture is Engineer Binoba Charles, lecturer, Federal University of Petroleum Resources, Efru, Delta State, Nigeria. What are energy sources? Energy sources are natural materials or phenomena from which usable energy can be derived. So any natural material or phenomenon from which you can get usable energy, they are referred to as energy sources. There are two types of energy sources. We have the non-renewable energy source and the renewable energy source. What are non-renewable energy? Non-renewable energy are energy sources or resources that are not replenished at the same speed with which they are used. That is to say that there are energy sources that come from resources that are not replenished at the same speed with which they are used. Example of those type of energy sources include, you can see here, we have our fossil fuels, we have our coal, we have our natural gas, and we have our nuclear. Non-renewable energy sources, once used, they are gone for good and are only available in limited amount. While it is true that these sources of energy, they do replenish, it takes a very long time, in some cases millions of years. Let us take for example our crude oil. You will notice that in a particular area where crude oil mining operation is going on, after some time they will say that there is no oil in that environment again. They will leave that location to another location. You will be surprised, after many years, if you go back to that same location, you will discover some good volume of crude oil in that same place. So it takes a longer time for them to replenish. That is why they are referred to as non-energy sources. Also, non-energy sources are only found in certain parts of the world. This means they are more in some nations than others. For example, if you look at your crude oil again, notice that we have crude oil even in our country, Nigeria, deposit in Delta, we have them in Bayelsa. But when you go to the north, some part of the north, we don't even have any deposit at all. In some part, we have just of recent they located some deposit of crude oil. Non-renewable energy sources are a risk to the environment and human health. For example, oil drilling might require strip mining, a drilling technology used for extracting oil, natural gas, or water from deep underground. And this process can cause earthquake and water pollution. Also, non-renewable energy sources can damage our habitats. Also, non-renewable energy sources can lead to air pollution, which is not only bad for our health, but can cause global warming. Those are some of the disadvantages of non-renewable energy. What are renewable energy? Renewable energy are energy from a source that is not depleted when used. It's any energy from a source that as you are using the energy, it is never exhausted. It is always available for you to use. They are referred to as clean energy, and they are also referred to as green energy. Renewable energy are naturally available, they are sustainable, they are naturally replenished, they are safe for the environment, that is, they do not cause any form of pollution. Example of non-renewable energy, we have the solar system, we have the hydropower energy, we have the geothermal energy, we have the wind energy, and we have the biomass. Solar energy. Solar energy is the energy that is produced by the sun or thermal energy. Biomass energy. Biomass energy is the energy produced by burning biofuel such as plant matters. Wind energy. Wind energy is the energy generated through wind turbine as a result of wind movement. Geothermal energy. Geothermal energy is the energy generated by harnessing heat produced by the earth crust. While we have our hydropower energy, is the energy generated by harnessing the natural flow of water and the tides. How does the different type of renewable energy sources works? First, we'll be looking at the solar energy. Solar energy is one of the earth's most abundant resources. Is it commonly utilized to generate power both commercially and domestically. Like you can see, these are solar panels. You can see here, using to capture the energy from the sun. This one also captures the heat generated. So photovoltaic system, which is the solar panel, capture the energy produced by solar rays within their cells, which is then converted into electricity or converted into heat by this particular device, while by the solar panel it is converted into electricity. The amount of solar energy that can be used depend largely on some factors. One, the geographical location of the environment. Two, the season of the year. And three, the time of the day. We have the next, which is your wind energy. The wind energy is another renewable energy source that is very available. It is a clean energy source. It is harnessed using wind turbines. You can see these are wind turbines. When the wind blows the turbine, as the wind blows, the turbine blade. You can see the blades. It causes the blades to rotate, thereby generating what we call kinetic energy. This kinetic energy is converted into electrical energy. How does this happen? This blade of this wind turbine, they are connected to a shaft that is connected to a generator. So as the wind rotates, blow the blade, it rotates and creates what we call electrical movement within the coils, and this leads to the generation of electricity. Leads to the generation of electricity. Wind power is often used on a large scale to power a number of commercial properties, or used on small scale to supplement other energy sources. It can also be used on domestic scale, although not every home will be suitable for it. We have the hydro power energy. Hydro energy, also known as hydroelectric power, is the most developed renewable energy source. The most developed and widely used all over the world. How does it look like? A large reservoir is created with a dam. You can see the reservoir. This is what we refer to as a dam. That can be used to control the flow of water. So you can see this dam is created here. It is used to control the flow of the water. This flow causes the waterway to turn. So this flow, they passes through a waterway back into the river body. So that force with which they are using to pass through it will be used to rotate the waterways. Again, these waterways are tied to a shaft that is connected to a generator. This generator uses the mechanical motion to create electricity. Hydropower energy is generally the more reliable renewable energy sources, as it can be used 24 hours per day, per week, in any weather condition. So as long as you have been able to trap the water, the energy is always available for you to use 24 hours per day, compared to the sunlight that you have some number of hours for the day, or compared to your wind energy that you don't always expect the wind to be blowing constantly. But for this type of energy, the water body is always flowing, so it is always available 24/7 irrespective of the weather condition. The biomass energy. Biomass is an organic matter. When we say organic matter, we refer to as a carbon-based material derived from living organisms such as plants and animals. And it is composed of both living, both dead and decomposing biological residue. And this energy can be converted into a solid fuel made of plant material or methane gas. So you can see the biomass plant. You can see the tree. When it was cut down, it was processed to this biomass and taken to the biomass plant to produce what we know as your methane. Methane gas is typically produced through anaerobic process during the natural decomposition of organic matter. Biomass energy can be produced at a particular low cost, both in an economical sense and an environmental sense, as it involves the conversion of agricultural, domestic an industrial byproduct that will otherwise be wasted. So instead of wasting this byproduct, they can be converted into biomass. Some sources of biomass are the agricultural crops, we have the industrial resources, we have your sewage, you have your animal resources, and we have your solid waste, and also we have your forestry. Then we have the geothermal energy. The geothermal energy is harnessed from heat that have been trapped underneath the earth crust, either since its formation or due to radioactive decay. So it is harnessed from the heat that have been trapped beneath the earth crust. Some of this heat will escape naturally in large quantity. Some of this heat beneath the earth crust, they will escape naturally in the form of volcanic eruption, which is earthquake, or it can be captured normally to produce geothermal energy. So that is exactly what is happening here. The energy from the earth crust using all this equipment have been captured to produce geothermal energy. The heated water within the geothermal reservoir, as the water that is under the ground that have been heated, is pumped up to the geothermal power plant, which is this power plant, pump up to this power plant, where it turns it into steam, which is then used to operate a turbine to power a generator. So when the hot water is taken to the plant converts it into steam, and the steam is produced at a very high pressure and is used to pump the wind turbine in order to generate what we call a rotation. And you are familiar with that. You can try the experiment. When you are boiling your water, there are some nozzles at the top of the kettle. As the water is boiling, just take note, the force at which the water is coming at, that is exactly how this system was designed to produce a very high force that can be used to turn a turbine to generate electricity. The generator produces electricity, and the steam is cooled back into water and fed back into the geothermal reservoir to be used again and again. So after you have done the process, you cool back the steam and it goes back into the reservoir. It is heated up again to generate your same heat under the ground. What are some of the benefits of renewable energy? It's a clean source of energy. When we say clean, we simply means that they do not produce air pollution such as carbon dioxide. They do not pollute the environment in any way. As such, they are referred to as clean energy or green energy. 2, no negative impact. They do not cause harm to the environment or to human beings. So because the clean form of energy, it does not come any form of harm to the environment or to human being. Number 3, it reduces bill. For example, if you have a renewable energy source installed in your house, you will not bother of paying bill to electricity distribution company. Or sometimes you might depend on them in some cases when the weather condition is not good, thereby reducing your bill to some extent. So you not fully depend on them for electricity. 4, they create jobs. Renewable energy sources need to be regularly maintained and serviced to ensure they are working to full efficiency. Like for example, in our environment, we have both a raining season period and the dry period. During the dry period, a lot of dust might fall on the surface of the panel. And if those dust are not cleaned, they will reduce the efficiency of the system. So people are engaged to clean those dusts. By so doing, they create job. Also, due to lightning, thunder, some of the solar power system might get damaged. So by so doing, we need people to maintain them so that they can go back into operation. By so doing, jobs are created. And lastly, they do not run out. They never run out. That means that they come straight from the environment. Whenever you need them, they are always available. For example, the sun is there. You will not say that, okay, because the sun is shining today, let me bring out all my clothes and wash them because I'm not sure of sun for the next 5-6 days. No, the next day you are always expected to see sunlight. Only what might change is the intensity, but as long as there is day, sunlight is always available. The difference between renewable energy and non-renewable energy sources. Renewable energy, they are renewable. So once you consume them, they are always available for you to use again. While the non-renewable energy, they are non-renewable. That means that they cannot be renewed once they are consumed. Then the renewable energy, they has no pollution. They do not cause any form of pollution to the environment or to human. While the non-renewable energy, they cause a lot of environmental pollution to the environment and to human being. Renewable energy, inexhaustible. They can never be exhausted. As you are using them, they are always available for you to use. For example, you will not say that let me go to the river to fetch water because I'm not sure of having water tomorrow. No matter how you fetch water from the river, you can never exhaust the water. Why not renewable energy? They are exhaustible. Take for example your kerosene. As you are using it to cook, after some time it will get exhausted. Also your gas to get exhausted, you have to go and buy another one. But for the renewable energy, they are always available for you to use. Renewable energy are not affected by human activities, while non-renewable energy are affected by human activities. Thanks for listening to this lecture. I trust you find this lecture very interesting. I want you to subscribe to my channel for more interesting lectures on different areas. But try this task. Can any source of energy be pollution free? A question for you to ponder about. Give reasons for your answer. So if your answer is yes, you say yes, give the reason. If it's no, say no and give your reasons. Please, you can leave your answer in the comment section.